do groups of threes, panels of threes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ready? 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 Good evening, everyone. We're going to start now. Thank you so much. Before I read the script, I'd just like to thank you all for coming out in this horrific weather. It's a true sense of commitment to your community and to your city. So I want to thank you so much. I'd like to ask everyone to please be seated. This is the continuation of the public hearing of the Committee of the Whole regarding bills number 130-489, 140-140, 140-144, and 140-145, 140-146, and 140-147, and 140-148, and resolution number 140-159. This evening, we will continue the hearing of the Committee of the Whole to consider various bills and constitute the proposed operating and capital spending measures for fiscal 25, a capital program, and a forward-looking plan for fiscal 2015 through fiscal 2020. Since you have entrusted this elected body to be stewards of taxes you pay, I firmly believe that all spending measures should be reflective of your priorities. And we're here this evening to continue and deliberate the process. Translation, we think it's extremely important for you in your neighborhood to actually have an opportunity to see your elected officials other than the one who represents you in this particular area, because I know you see Councilwoman Tasco and Councilwoman Bass all the time, but we believe that we should come out and bring the process to you as opposed to always requiring that you come down to City Hall. And we've actually been doing this for, I think, Councilwoman, like the 4th year now? I think our 4th year we've been doing this. So on that note, before we start, I would like to take a moment to thank our host for this evening, Dr. Deborah Peoples-Lee, President and CEO of West Oak Lane Charter School, its board chair, Charmaine Matlock-Turner, and board members and all staff, parents, and students of the school who may be present. I also extend the same thanks to Councilwoman Marion Tasco and basically Councilwoman Cindy Bass, since her district abuts this particular area, for agreeing to host this event tonight. So at this time, I would like to turn it over to Councilwoman Marion Tasco for remarks.
Thank you, Mr. President. Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for coming out in this weather. Didn't it rain? It is raining. But I know most of you in this room I know, and I know you really have a commitment to your community, and you're very supportive of what we try to do in our neighborhood. So I just want to say thank you for coming out. I want to thank the East Falls Development Corporation and the Development Corporation that they formed here, a coalition for coming out and bringing her children. and all of the community organizations, the libraries represented here, the committee people from the mighty 50th and the awesome 10th are here. And, but they not only are committee people, they are community workers. They work in their churches, they work in their libraries, they work in their rec centers. They're just everywhere. So I thought it was important for them to come, and we come to this community so that we could hear what you have to say about the budget and any concerns you may have. And I thank my colleagues for coming, and hope we'll have a nice dialogue. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Councilwoman. Councilwoman Bass, would you like to say a couple of words?
Yes, thank you very much. Good evening, everyone. It's really a pleasure to be here with you. I love West Oak Lane Charter. Let me just start by saying that. I think that they do a phenomenal job. But beyond that, I just wanted to echo Councilwoman Tasco's sentiments and thank everybody for coming out tonight. It's really important that we hear from you. Government doesn't have all the answers. We don't know what it is that you're thinking, what you're feeling. And so that's why it's so important for us to have this kind of conversation. We want to know what it is that you think that we should be doing or how we should operate or what we should implement. It's so important to hear from the people. And so I'm glad that folks were able to come out tonight, swim over, canoe over, however they made it over here tonight. But I'm glad that you're here. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Councilwoman. And also joining us this evening, at this point in time, we have Councilman William Greenlee, who's a councilperson at large, and Councilman Bobby Heenan from the 6th Councilmatic District. There are actually some other council members that are on their way. There was actually another event. I believe the African American Chamber of Commerce annual meeting was this evening, so some folks are there. They'll be coming very shortly. So again, thank you all very much. This is an official budget hearing, so we have certain guidelines as it relates to the participation of the individuals who are interested in testifying this evening. We will call your name. Your names will be called in the order that you signed in. Some people have called ahead of time and gotten on a list, and then we will call those names, and then we will get through the names of people who have signed in recently. What we're going to do is call 3 names, panels of 3. Ask that you please come forward to the table. 3 minutes per person. The reason why we do 3 minutes is because we want to make sure that everybody has an opportunity. And fortunately tonight we actually have quite a number of people who have signed up, so we anticipate that we'll have somewhat lengthy testimony as it relates to the time frame tonight. So if there are no questions, we'd like to get started. And Ms. Lewis has a timer here. As you can see, it's the old-fashioned timer, and I understand that they actually used to cook eggs or something with. So
The first 3 names are Majida Rashid, Walter Marlin, and Jamil Gordon.
okay.
Dr. Tony Damon,
Many blessings to you all.
And could you please, before your testimony, please state your name for the record so we can make sure that it coincides with the
Absolutely.
transcript.
My name is Jamil Samadiquan Gordon. I come here on behalf of the Oak Lane branch of the library system and in a greater capacity on behalf of the entire city of Philadelphia. I chose this great city even before I was born because I had an instinct that my particular path would be a blessing to all that I come in contact with here. One thing that I provide at the library, which I believe would be greatly beneficial to everyone in Philadelphia, is a regard for the environment. We do several programs where we teach specific skills that these young people will use in the 21st century economy that we are diving into. I also am a strong proponent of languages and culture. I personally speak Spanish, French, and Portuguese, and I oftentimes just slip in little words to help the young people realize that young African American males don't just speak Ebonics, but they also can be world travelers and they can be international citizens. So I thank you, and I encourage any decisions about the budget to encourage those 2 points: international travel and language, and the environment as it concerns to the 21st century economy. Thank you all very much, and God bless.
Thank you so much for your testimony, sir.
Good evening.
Evening.
My name is Walter Marlin. To Council President Darrell Clark, all associate councilpersons, especially our own District 9 councilperson, Marion Tasco. Thank you all for your continued support. I come to you today as a retired administrator of the Philadelphia prison system, a 33-year volunteer of the Finley Advisory Council, and a board member of the Philadelphia Parks Alliance. Our prison system unfortunately experiences the end result of a system that leaves our children and young people with few options except to run the streets and find something to get into, usually something illegal. There are not enough pools to hold the thousands of young people in your councilmanic districts. If there were more adult department staff running supervised and organized programs with the support of our volunteers within our parks and recreation system, maybe, just maybe, so many of our young people would not be locked up in our county jails and prisons. The Department of Parks and Recreation struggles to provide facilities to use in your councilmanic districts. Continued budget cuts have and are taking its toll on deferred maintenance and inadequate staffing in all councilmanic districts. It becomes a question of pay it now to our schools and recreation or pay it later to our prison system. Many, many programs are run by volunteers. Some cleaning and maintenance are now done by volunteers. And if a staff person becomes ill or goes on vacation, the building closes. It's the neighborhood children and seniors who are out of luck. More streets, more arrests, into an already overcrowded prison system. Where are the tax dollars that were promised 2 years ago that were to come from our support of the parking tax increase? Your constituents are watching. Is anybody listening? Imagine for a moment when His Holiness the Pope and the hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of the world, if not millions of tourists visit our city of brotherly love and sisterly affection. For the World Conference of Families that is, and Philadelphia is the spotlight, in the spotlight of the world media. How will Philadelphia measure up? When these tourists visit our hotels, restaurants, parks and recreation facilities, historic landmarks, etc., will they come back? According to Park Facts 2014, how does Philadelphia compare? Source, Philadelphia Parks Alliance, at that email address. Philadelphia is at or near the bottom of dollars spent per resident. Philadelphia spends just $71 per year per resident on parks and recreation. Cincinnati spends just double, more than double, and Minneapolis over 3 times more per resident than Philadelphia. Source is 2014 Park Facts, City for Park Excellence, Trust for Public Land. Philadelphia spends 1/4 of what New York spends per acre on parks and rec. We want to thank Mayor Nutter for appropriating an increase in the programming of $500,000 for FY 2015, but it is still insufficient. Despite partial funding in FY 2013, Philadelphia has 17% fewer parks and recreation staff than in FY 2000. In 2013, 30,377 individuals volunteered in Philadelphia's parks and recreation facilities, contributing approximately $13.3 million in sweat equity. In 1971, Philadelphia had 527 park guard police, but in 2014, we have only 18 park rangers. How can 18 park rangers patrol and police 10,150 acres effectively? Isn't it time for the mayor and council to appropriately fund the 2 areas that impact all of our children, schools, and parks and recreation? Thank you for your time.
Thank you so much, sir.
Good evening. My name is Dr. Tony Damon. I am the proud principal of Morrell Dobbins CTE High School in Philadelphia, and also I'm a proud parent of 2 girls. One is my daughter, Kanae, who is a graduating senior at the Academy at Palumbo High School in Philadelphia, and she's been accepted to Howard University, so I'm extremely proud. I also have a 4-year-old daughter who will be starting school hopefully next year. So I bring the perspective of a principal and a parent, and I just encourage you to please do whatever you can do to help our schools. I see where there seems to be money going into public safety and less money in education. That will have to be the case if we don't invest in education. I am so proud at the work we are doing this year with limited resources. I have some of my students accepted to Howard also, Penn State, Drexel University. I'm extremely proud of my students. But what I can say is, as a principal in this district for 2 years, I've come from Delaware County, where I've worked for 10 years as an administrator, Montgomery County for 10 years. But I wanted to come to Philadelphia to make a difference. I'm finding it extremely challenging. I'm the only principal in the city with certification in vocational education. I came here to help. I don't know if I can even keep going at this pace. I work around the clock. My students have my cell phone number because we have 1 counselor where we had 3 last year. I need to tell you that next year, I don't even have a full-time counselor in my budget. My daughter at a college prep high school has 1 counselor who is not able to assist us. I'm working around the clock trying to help her fill out the applications while helping 136 other students at my school. It's just not fair. I'm a taxpayer. I live in North Philadelphia in the Yorktown section, and I'm just begging you not only to help me, because I have the tools to help my daughter and the kids at my school, but there's so many other children in the city of Philadelphia that really need the help. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your testimony. Thank you all. Thank you all for coming out tonight.
The next 3, Majida Rashid, Gina Snyder, and Angie Williamson.
Good evening.
Good evening. My name is Gina Snyder, and I am here actually with 2 colleagues, so we're going to try to save some time.
I'm Angie Williamson, Director of the Mount Airy Business Improvement District.
Andy Trackman, Executive Director, Germantown United CDC.
Thank you very much for the opportunity to speak tonight. Again, I'm Gina Snyder. I'm the Director of the East Falls Development Corporation. We're here to introduce you tonight to the Northwest Commercial Corridors Coalition, if we haven't had the opportunity to meet with you yet. We're a relatively new coalition. Our business corridor organizations are in the 7 neighborhoods of Chestnut Hill, East Falls, Manayunk, Mount Airy, Germantown, West Oak Lane, and Roxborough. We've joined together to form a coalition so that we can achieve more together than by ourselves. And I'm speaking for them tonight. We represent the entire northwest of the city in terms of the commercial corridors. Collectively, we have a strong track record of economic development, having assisted and recruited businesses into the city. We've also completed several streetscape and similar placemaking projects, all of which have increased revenue in our communities. We've been working in our communities to create destination locations, places for customers to shop and dine. This leads to more businesses and more jobs. We've joined forces now because we want to market our entire region, make better connections with the surrounding county communities, and capitalize on our shared assets. We support local businesses and investments that create jobs and bring taxes to the city. We've been working with the Commerce Department to secure funds for our work. They've been very supportive, but almost all of the Commerce Department's monies for commercial corridors go to limited CDBG eligible areas. Our corridors serve people of all income levels, but many of our areas are mixed and not entirely CDBG eligible. Our mixed income and middle market corridors need support to maintain competition and keep businesses in the city. State assistance is not the answer either, since state Main Street monies are all but gone. Most of our work is not eligible for city support. We can do a lot with a little. Our organizations play a crucial role in the development and the success of Northwest areas. We are requesting the city allocate $1 million from the general fund to a competitive grant program for all of the non-CDBG eligible areas. And that would be, we think, about 15 total, not just in our Northwest area, so that we can manage our main streets, support new businesses, add to job creation, and bring investment to the city. Thank you very much for giving us an opportunity to speak with you, and we're always available to answer questions. I have my testimony.
Thank you so much.
Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
I'm Majida Rashid, Chief Operating Officer of the Nicetown CDC, which is a member of the Philadelphia Association of CDCs, PACDC. I have also served as the Executive Director of the Nicetown CDC NEC for 11 years, and during that time have been a member of the citywide NEC Alliance. I want to thank City Council President Darrell Clark and members of Council for allowing me the opportunity to testify today, and I want to acknowledge our area Council District Representatives Cindy Bass and Marion Tasco. The Nicetown CDC was founded in, I'm going to cut to the chase in some of this. I know y'all looking at my long testimony because I can go on, but we were founded in 1999 with a mission to improve the quality of life for those who live, work, and play in Nicetown and surrounding communities. We began with a grassroots resident-driven perspective, which is still the core of our efforts today. This perspective is sustained by our Nicetown CDC NEC program. Since 1975, neighborhood advisory committees have evolved from independent organizations to programs of CDCs. NEC areas must have more than 51% low to moderate income residents, and the Nicetown area is rated 7th most impoverished in the city. There are currently 19 NECs in Philadelphia, and we believe that they are the perfect conduit to ensure provision of vital services to low to moderate income residents and their inclusion in the neighborhood planning and development process. In fact, the NECs fulfill the citizen participation requirement that is included in the consolidated plan submitted to the federal government every year. Without this component, the city would not qualify to receive critical CDBG funding. Just briefly going over, in 2002, we received our NEC contract, which was at the level of $57,000, and over time, it's been going up and then again decreased to this current level, and basically was cut by 25%. Those cuts resulted in us having to shut down our satellite office, which was in this area up here. We were afforded a satellite office by ORC, and we had to shut that down a couple years ago, which puts a lot of pressure on us getting the word out to the constituents that we serve. People often wonder how one or two people can get the work of NECs done. Basically, that's how many people run NECs. And then we do it by partnering and collaborating with people that build our capacity to do so. And basically, we are asking the city, I encourage you to explore and consider possible options previously introduced by my PACDC colleagues to OECD at the Consolidated Plan hearing on April 16th. We asked the city to redirect some of the unused funds set aside for property tax relief programs to housing counseling agencies, which could also be another source of funding for the NECs. And we are also asking City Council to work together with state and federal legislators and academic institutions to secure sustainable funds for AmeriCorps workers who could really help us by developing long-term college-based internship programs. This would help NECs develop street teams that conduct conditions monitoring and reporting, and just helping us do some of the tedious work that we have to do. and more than 42% or more than $20 million of the city CDBG allocation will be spent on operational costs for city agencies in fiscal year 15, according to the preliminary plan. These dollars aren't available to the next that have been the go-to programs to help deliver the critical services, support, and economic development in our neighborhoods, as I described previously in this testimony. These are just a couple options to explore to direct more sufficient funding to the next. It's time for the city to recognize the value of the next as it relates to serving the poor, as well as with the consolidated plan. I respectfully request that the city step up and invest more funding to benefit the vulnerable neighborhoods and residents that we are charged to serve. Thank you for allowing me to provide my testimony here today.
Thank you so much. And again, thank you for your wonderful work. One of the things I'd like to say is, first of all, I'd like to recognize Councilwoman Jonas Sanchez, who just came in, and we had the pleasure of being at a PACDC meeting the other night. It was a wonderful event, and both the Councilwoman and I were recognized by the great organization, and it's very special. Working in neighborhoods, we think, is so important, and we want to continue to encourage you, and I understand that along with that encouragement, we need to step up to the plate and provide more resources for the local communities, and we, in fact, plan on doing that and coming out with a number of initiatives very shortly.
Council President Clark, I'm the Vice President of PACDC, and I was at the event. I want to congratulate you again for the Leadership Award. Councilwoman as well. Thank you very much for your hard work.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Jane Lipton, Doug Bryant, and Deborah Tooney. No? Okay. Doug Bryant, Deborah Tooney, and Oyinade Salako.
And again, I just want to remind,
I'm Yoruba.
well, not remind, for those of you who may have come in more recently, with respect to the testimony, we're requesting that you limit your comments to 3 minutes, if at all possible. We want to make sure that we have an opportunity. I know some people came in after our opening remarks. Thank you so much for your cooperation. Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening.
My name is Douglas Bryant. I'm a member of the Gambrell Recreation Center Advisory Council and a lifelong resident of Frankfurt section of Philadelphia. I would like to take time to thank City Council for giving me the opportunity to speak about the Gambrell Recreation Center and the unfilled promise to restore the $5 million for fiscal year 2009, $5 million from fiscal year 2009. We service over 300 children at the center. It is also the home of the Frankfurt Chargers Athletic Association. The Gambrell Recreation Center is a safe haven for our youth. The Recreation Center was built in 1980. If you were to drive down the 4800 block of Dittman Street, you will see a very nice-looking fenced-in AstroTurf field with the Scores booth, by the way, built and maintained by Mr. Gambrell, a concession stand, a building to store athletic equipment, also built by Mr. Gambrell, a huge storage bin used to store athletic equipment, 2 baseball fields, a basketball court, a water park, and a playground for the smaller kids. I want to take a few more minutes of your time to take you inside our rec center. Depending on the time of the evening in one of our in our one and only multi-purpose room and gym, you might see our girls' dance program practicing their routines, or our boys' basketball program, an after-school program, mentoring programs, or the girls' cheerleaders practicing their cheers. You see, we have to maintain our indoor programs in shifts. Oh, by the way, this year we started a girls' 12 and under basketball team. Unfortunately, the only available time to practice was 7:30 in the evening. There are 2 storage rooms filled with equipment, a locker room now used for storage. We had to move some of the equipment inside the rec because the storage building on the field was constantly being broken into, and football equipment such as shoulder pads and helmets, TVs, and DVDs were stolen. In the gym, painted by Mr. Gambrell, we have our basketball court, also the floor again maintained by Mr. Gambrell. The restroom facilities are inadequate and obsolete. The boys' restroom has 1 stall, 1 small sink, and the old, tall ceramic urinal that drains into the floor. Hopefully there is not a downpour outside because you might hear the drainage system gurgling. Our restrooms are in dire need of renovation. We have our director's office also used to have our advisory board meetings, the Frankfurt Chargers board meetings, and other meetings that have to be held at the rec. As you can see, what we need is an expansion to the building. We have completely outgrown our recreation center. We know at this particular time the expansion project is more of a pipe dream than a reality, but we could use some renovations that would afford us some much more needed space. Without having to build an extension to the building, one thought would be to removing the lockers from the locker room and renovating it into another activity room, which we so desperately need. It took more than a year to finally get a Comcast line in the building. With the added space, we would then be able to set up laptops to aid the children with their homework as originally planned and other school program activities. Let's take a closer look at the nice-looking AstroTurf football field. Back in 2007, we were recognized as having the worst football field in the city. Before a game could be played, we had to walk the field picking up glass and rocks. Thanks to the City of Philadelphia and the Philadelphia Eagles, a new field was constructed. This was a blessing for the children and the community. But now with normal wear and tear, it's time for maintenance. Although we purchased equipment to fluff up the turf, parts of the field has to be glued down and gullies are starting to appear on it. We had one person come out who gave us an oral estimate on repairs. He said in the next couple of years the turf and padding would have to be replaced and the drainage system would have to be checked. That would cost in the hundreds of thousands of dollars, which is far more than our budget will allow. The difficulty also is finding more contractors to come out to look out at our field and give an estimate. I stand before you this evening pleading on behalf of the children who attend the Gambrell Rec Center to please release the remaining $5 million as promised. We thank God for such people as Mr. Gambrell and a host of others in our community who volunteer their time and talents with proper maintenance. We can continue to have a healthy and enjoyable recreation center for our 300 children and growing. And by the way, Mr. Gambrell is in the office, in the stands with me.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Councilwoman Sanchez.
This is one of mine, so I want to, he already asked. Mr. Gambrell, can you stand up? Can you stand up, Mr. Gambrell? Stand up.
Yes, problem.
This is Billy Gambrell, who this rec center is named after. And I just really want to affirm the work of the Chargers and all of the organizations that work there at that rec center and add to your plea for additional money, not only for maintenance, but, you know, obviously we can talk about an expansion. This center is run fully by volunteers, and it is one of the most impressive recreation facilities in the city of Philadelphia. I'm so very proud to serve them, and I wanted to publicly thank them for what they do. They are truly an outstanding model of children and adults and everyone. Every single building that was mentioned here by Mr. Bryant, Mr. Gambrell built. A concession stand, a storage equipment. I always tell them we have no permits for it, but it's okay. Because that's the kind of focus and attention you want from the rec centers. They don't ask for permission. And we need to be able to support them more. So thank you both, Mr. Bryan and Mr. Gambrell.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, and I bring you greetings from the Imhotep Charter High School, the first African-centered high school built from the ground up in the beautiful community of the Northwest District. My name is Deborah Tony Moore. Yes, you can clap it up for the TEP because we're doing some great things. My name is Deborah Tony Moore, and my parent GPA is a 4.0 in climbing because I made the right choice at Imhotep. I am a legacy mom with 4 graduates who have all gone on to post-secondary education, and because of the diligent work at Imhotep, my children and the young people who follow and continue to be there have not had to pay too much money for college applications. Our college support system, they make sure that we diligently work. Our mission is to make sure our children are well qualified for post-secondary education. I am an adopted daughter of the Northwest because I had started at Imhotep since 2000, but I come from the Councilman Jones's district in Winfield. So I travel as many students come from all across this great city to come to Imhotep. I am a proud parent that has seen with my own eyes the tremendous vision, mission, passion, dedication that it takes from a CEO such as Christine Wiggins and the awesome staff that come to that school. Our parents are phenomenal. What we did today is we brought you greetings from our football team. As you know, we made history. 100 years, we are the first public school to be state finalists, and we represented the city well. We also run back-to-back city and state championships. But my greatest pride is these young men that we see here and those in this book. They all have accepted to college, and we're still working on one that is still in the works as a senior. This is what we do at the TEP. It's a tremendous school, and I'm here to just encourage everyone. When the renewal comes up, we need to make council aware that our renewal is up. There should be no challenges. I have 4 graduates. I have brought a soon-to-be graduate with me, and I'm going to share a little of my time with her, and also another parent who also teaches at the Great Harambe Institute founded by John Skeef. I'm just here to tell you, we need your full support. This school does tremendous work. People say athletics, but it's a winning attitude. We get young people to come with no confidence, no faith in education, low scores, and we're telling them of their greatness, that success is in our race, that we are born to achieve and succeed. And with those closing remarks, I'm just going to ask you to take a minute to visit our great school. Just like this beautiful facility here, West Oak Lane Charter, it is one of the only independent charter schools. It's an independent community-based charter school, which was based on Act 22 of the state law. Many of us I started in the struggle before I even understood what a charter school was. And I found the buy-in for stakeholders to take ownership of education is one of our greatest successes. And in addition to the funding that needs to happen for education, we need to make sure that we're bringing as many partnerships and resources to our schools. Because on any given Monday, you can be a child of a traditional public school, private, or a public charter school. So I'm thanking the council for coming out here today, and if I could, I'd like to just share a minute for our student who came out to speak tonight.
Hello, everybody. My name is Onyade Salako. I'm Nigerian. I moved to America 3 years ago, and Imhotep wasn't my neighborhood school. I started it off at King as a freshman, and it wasn't a very nice experience. So I transferred to Imhotep Charter High School, and Imhotep has built me in a lot of ways. And it has also strengthened me academically, physically, and, well-rounded. It is a well-rounded school. I would say that we need the community support and as well as your support to fund our school and make it one of the best, which it is already, and with your help, it can, get more awareness because, as an African-centered school, our school is doing a lot of things, and my school, Imhotep Charter High School, is doing the best it can do to keep students, especially young blacks, in school. And education is one of the things we need nowadays to get what we want to succeed. And with your help and the funds, we can achieve our dream as Blacks, African Americans, to attain the highest success we can. Thank you very much.
And if
Thank
she
you.
could, can she just share where she's going to college and her acceptance?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm a graduating senior with a GPA of 3.64 with over 15 college acceptances, and I've also secured scholarship with these colleges, which include Temple, Drexel, LaSalle with a full ride and full tuition for some. But my choice, I'm going to Kutztown during the fall.
Congratulations.
And we did provide our points of pride for MOTAP, so you're welcome to share in that
Thank
and
you.
spread the good news about the TAP.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your testimony. Congratulations. I'm sorry. 1 second, Councilwoman, your councilwoman wants to make a couple of references. Councilwoman.
Thank you very much. I love Imhotep as well. I can tell you that I've been there many times. Mama Chris is fantastic. I'm surprised she's not here tonight.
We have an honor roll dinner, which we have
Honor
a
roll
parent that came, his daughter's being honored.
Oh,
and,
wonderful.
she's also being honored, so.
Well, I knew it was for a good reason. I knew that if she wasn't here, that there was something going on over at Imhotep. I remember when you started, when Imhotep started, and they were in trailers. Modulars, excuse me. And it's come a long way to the beautiful facility that you're in now. And it makes a difference. And I believe Imhotep graduates either the most or at the top in terms of graduation for African American males here in Philadelphia. And that is really significant. So I just wanted to thank you for the work that you're doing and for your advocacy.
Thank you so much. And I did want to share, and I apologize for everybody, but I think we need to know, today we had Stanford, the school in Tennessee, and a number of coaches and people from all over the nation recruiting our students. Every October we invite the community out. It's an open college fair, and we not only help our students get college scholarships and acceptances, we bring other schools into the TAP so they can also partake. So we want to share that good information with the community and let you know that we are community-based and we're here to serve. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Keep up the good work.
The next three, Janice Winston, Jeffrey Hackett, and Francis Nelson. Janice Winston, Jeffrey Hackett, and Francis Nelson. Harriet Davor. Gina Snyder. William Dorsey. There you go.
Good evening.
Good evening. I apologize. My testimony is written as I didn't think I was going to get back to Philadelphia today, so I just wrote it as I was sitting in the room.
No problem.
My name is Janice Winston, and I am the treasurer for the All-Volunteer City Youth Association Gators. Our organization is dedicated to the youth with a concentration on sports, travel, education, and mentoring. We also encourage our parents to participate with their children from ages 4 to 16. We are based at Cherry Shore Playground in Councilwoman Marion Tasco's district. I'm here today to implore you to maintain or increase the budget for recreation. As the school district is forced to concentrate on its major mission to educate our children, it's up to organizations like the City Youth Association Gators and others to round out the youth experience. Recreation gives our youth the opportunity to experience the use of other parts of their brains. Organizations that service youth rely on the recreation budget to help us fulfill the creative genius of our children outside of the classroom. With the assistance of Councilwoman Tasco, we have taken our children to Florida, Ohio, New York, New Jersey, and recently Rehoboth Beach, Delaware. Our cheerleaders and football teams are national champions. Self-esteem, a sense of self-worth, fulfillment of dreams not deferred are what we wish for our children. I ask that you remember our youth and remember your youth and the fun you had when you were young. I ask that you provide money for maintenance for our facilities and continue to support the development of our youth outside of the classroom. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Good evening.
Good evening, sir.
My name is William Dorsey, and I'm here representing the Business Center for Entrepreneurship and Social Enterprise. That's
Yeah, you have
okay.
to, the stenographer,
Is that
you have
better?
to make sure.
Okay. All right. The Biz Center is headed by Pam Richwheeler, who serves as our executive director. The mission of the Business Center is to equip individuals with the necessary skills to start, maintain, and expand small businesses. Our target areas is in the northwest of Philadelphia and includes the commercial corridors along Chew, Shelton, Germantown Avenues, as well as the Logan Business District. Small businesses play an important role in Philadelphia's economy and contribute to the overall well-being of our communities by expanding the tax base and creating jobs. Public policies and programs such as the commercial corridor, facade improvements, technical assistance to entrepreneurs, access to capital, and the streamlining of the city's tax and regulations process can go a long way to creating an economic environment where small minority-owned businesses can grow and thrive. We encourage the council to pass a budget that addresses the capital and capacity building needs of Philadelphia's minority and women entrepreneurs in a positive and proactive manner. Instead of focusing on big box developments, City Council should encourage a vibrant mix of small businesses along commercial corridors that cater to the needs of our neighborhood residents while creating solid living wage jobs and contributing to our tax base. The council should also encourage the establishment of small-scale, high-tech manufacturing facilities which would serve to address the underutilization of Philadelphia's industrial infrastructure and would create further job opportunities for its residents. Finally, we ask that the council should pass a budget that funds programs that promote financial literacy and encourage entrepreneurship among our youth. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for your testimony.
Can I just take a minute to just thank Councilwoman Marion Tasco for her continued support for the Cherry Shore Playground? Thank you very much.
Good evening, Council President, members. My name is Jeff Hackett. I am a commissioner with Parks and Recreation. I chair programming now, but I'm here as the president of Helen G. Sturgis Recreation Center. I'm also the president of the 35th District Police Advisory Council. I would like to say first that I thank you guys for the further transparency. I've been dealing with the rec centers for a lot of years, and it's a refreshing and welcome invite to those that actually get involved to see the transparency difference and also see the battles that you put your necks out sometimes battling the other side of the table, you know. But what I'm here to ask for is basically, I looked at the stats. Our murder rate has gone down, but our shooting rate has shot through the ceiling. More and more people are being shot in areas that are set out to be for recreation and entertainment for families. Right now there's a meeting going on about the branding, Find Your Path. One of the struggles I see is when I look at areas that we have in the Northwest area that are really unattainable. I keep bringing it up, and we will continue to keep bringing it up, but we have a reservoir that sits over there that needs to be some kind of health track. The water department is doing a lot of things in a lot of areas, and I work all over the city. Also employed by the School District of Philadelphia. So I see a lot of things. My life, for whatever reason, has turned to be an advocate for children. I like the bad boys. I take them in, and I usually make them coaches, and it tricks them into being responsible rather than discarding them. We practice a zero tolerance. I'm proud to say we've ran outdoor basketball for 6 years, not one major incident, not one. There's stigmas and dogmas on our children. But I say to you right now that what I found, that organizing in your community and partnership in your community is where the power comes from. We've just partnership with the Aspara school system. We've partnership with the Finletter school system. You know, there used to be a relationship between schools, parks, cultural centers and everything, and we're trying to just go back to some things. I know a lot of times it's not good to go back, but we want to go back to the village process. We want to invite everybody in, and we're trying to include everybody this time to make sure that our children have somewhere to go. And one last thing I want to talk about is a big, strong argument that I would like to try to bring forth, and that has to do with the budgeting and the recreation hours on Saturday. Most teenagers get up at 12 o'clock. The rec center closes at 2. If we're really going to help them, we need to maybe open up at 12. You know, I know that it's a thing with staffing and a lot of things of that nature, but we got to go with the nature of the beast. You know, that's where our problem lies, and therefore that's where our solution lies. We need to occupy them, and we need to bend a little bit because pretty soon they'll be leading us. So we need to be careful on how we're leading them and which direction we're taking them in. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Real quick before you leave the table, before you leave, I just want to reference a couple of things. I know a couple of my colleagues here actually are working on some of the very important initiatives. Councilman Heenan is actually the co-chair or the chair of the manufacturing task force, and I know one of the things that the councilman, he can obviously speak for himself, but I just wanted to reference that he's done a real good job, and they're focusing on small businesses because the reality is that small businesses are what creates the majority of the jobs, not only in the city but in the country. And also, Councilwoman Bass, I know she wants to talk about the safety issue around the rec center. And Jeff, I just want to say to you, I want to first congratulate you and thank you for your tenure on the Fairmont Parks and Recs Commissioner. You're doing a great job. And what I'd ask for you to do with respect to some of the operations issues, because we do take very seriously what the commission references and recommends, if you could just formalize that, and during our budget process, we'll see if we can have that conversation with the commissioner and possibly enact that particular provision.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'd just like to thank all of you for coming out to testify, you as well as all of the other members residents who have come forward. But I'd like to sort of thank Jeff for a job well done at Sturgis Recreation Center, which we will hopefully open in July. He has led that project and has worked there when it was a classroom, and now it has expanded to what in a park, and it was very challenging trying to keep the trees and the landscape and still provide a larger facility. So I want to thank you for your leadership. Long before we thought about the rec center, you were working in the community with the people, and I want to thank you. And I want to thank Janice for your work at Sheriff Shore. Thank you so much. It's a nice little rec center, and you really spent a lot of time there. Thank you very much.
Councilwoman Bass.
Thank you, Mr. President. Jeff, I just wanted to thank you for mentioning basically recreation and a relationship to keeping young people busy and crime, and that there's a relationship there. And if you keep them out of sort of the mischief, then you don't have, some of the things going on that we see that are so troubling. And so I just wanted to mention a couple of things. And the first is that I want to make sure everybody knows that every member of council, particularly the district members, have made a commitment to ensure that every playground and recreation center in the city of Philadelphia will have cameras within the next 3 years. And so that is really significant. And thank you. And so every member here has made that commitment. Every member in City Council, period, has made that commitment. And so we want to thank them for that. And also, you know, every member voted for a bill that we introduced last year, which required the Parks and Recreation Department to tell us about or to report to the police department any infractions that are happening. So as district members, if I know that one playground in particular is having a crime or a safety issue, if I see the report that tells me that, I can put additional resources there too. So there's a lot of things that we've been working on. You know, we're not completely there yet, but I believe that we are on the right path. And I think, you know, if we're able to get additional funding, it makes a huge difference, and we all know that. So, but thank you for your advocacy. We really appreciate it.
Thank you, Councilwoman. And one thing Councilwoman omitted to tell you, that she does so many things, she can't keep up with all the stuff she does. The Councilwoman actually sponsored and passed legislation that will prohibit any firearms on the Department of Recreation, because, that's right. You do so much you can't remember, huh? That's good stuff. Yeah. Chair recognizes Councilman Heenan.
Thank you, Council President, and thank you all for testifying, and those who came before you and those who will testify after you this evening. You know, the Council President is correct. Each member of City Council has contributed to just about every issue, you know, that we heard here tonight, starting with, you know, public safety in our rec centers. So I'm glad, you know, our chair of Parks and Recs is able to, you know, come here tonight and stand up and say, you know, we have a proven track record of trying to change things and make our Department of Rec a better place, at a more vibrant place where we could have our kids play and hang out for organized and unorganized sports in a safe way. You know, when you talk about manufacturing, you know, we certainly have the talent pool here in the city of Philadelphia, and working in partnerships with you know, the school district and some of the private sectors, specifically the manufacturing industry. You know, the way we approach, you know, putting kids to work is a little different now. You know, we have the resurgence and the vibrancy of manufacturing that is coming upon us now. And the different approach is, it's going to be by demand. So we will be training our kids, you know, as the pipeline in education for those jobs, for the need of those jobs. So these jobs, even in the economic downturn that we have had, you know, we see, you know, on the upswing, you know, there will be job placements for all our kids, you know, whether it's in technology, you know, utilizing our school district at Ben Franklin School is equipped with contributed and donated manufacturing advanced technology there for all our kids in the city of Philadelphia, as well as our community colleges and some of our higher education. So we are fully prepared to put neighborhood children and neighborhood folks to work as soon as possible. So we are certainly taking this step so that, and I want to thank Council President and the members of this body for recognizing that, as they all have been, you know, pounding the pavements and visiting some of these manufacturing jobs that are in our neighborhoods. And finally, you know, there's been a lot of talk about the commercial quarters, and you know, from Councilwoman Quinona Sanchez and our Council President, you know, specifically as the Council President has been fighting for the last several years and has been successful with getting more money in the budget for our commercial quarters, making sure, you know, that the facade improvement program is available for local small businesses. Local small businesses from, you know, could be people in this room who opened up and taken a chance, you know, with their retirement, or taking a chance to offer services, you know, for a commercial quarter to be successful. You know, legislation that is passed where the first $2,000 for the business income taxes are exempt, to give people the opportunity to succeed on a walkable district in our commercial quarters, where neighborhood residents can just walk around the corner and just come to the street and feel safe about it. And also collectively over the last 3-4 years, the new zoning code change, making sure that the zoning code reform includes an easy way to be successful on the quarter. So every council member that you see here tonight and every council member over the past 3 years that I've been a part of has had extreme input in making sure that our neighborhoods are successful with a nice mix with local businesses, local people supporting them, walking on them, and making that economy thrive right back in our neighborhood. So I thank you all for being here.
Thank you, Councilman. And thank you so much for your testimony. Thank you so much. And before we call on the next group, I would like to recognize a good friend of mine and a good friend of all of us, State Representative Sherelle Parker is in the house. Just want to actually had the pleasure of spending some time with the representative today up in Harrisburg, and I was just marveling at how she was handling her business, fighting for money for education. And Rep, it was a good time. Don't necessarily look forward to spending any more time up there, so you got there. But again, great job today. I really appreciate watching you handle your business. Councilman? Oh, is it Majority Leader Jones? There he is.
Thank you.
All right.
That was wondering where it was. Thank you, Mr. President. Also to my colleague, Councilman Heenan, just to say to the people who live up in this area, we'll be getting our streetscape on Stenton Avenue from Allen's Lane all the way down, I think it's to Rittenhouse. So we had a meeting the other night at Oxford Presbyterian Church. It had a wonderful turnout of the community. So we're looking forward to beautifying our Stenton Avenue as we've done on Ogontz as well as Wadsworth. Thank you all very much. And with your tax dollars, we appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you, Councilwoman.
The next three speakers are Gary Mills, Walter Marlin, and Andy Trackman. Oh, Walter is right. So Gary Mills, Andy Trackman, and Doug Bryant, I think. Doug Bryant. Desmond Daniels. Thank you.
Good evening.
Good evening. Thank you, members of council, for coming out and having us tonight. My name is Andy Trackman. I was up here earlier in support of the commercial corridor funding, but I'm testifying here tonight as a Philadelphia resident, as a parent, and a resident of the 8th District. And I'm here to support a request to restore full funding of $3.2 million to the Philadelphia Cultural Fund. This year, the fund provided general operating grants to 272 arts and culture organizations. 33 of them are actually in the 8th and 9th District. And with the cutbacks in the schools, organizations like the Commissar Group, which provides school children with a performing arts platform and provides education in African and African American history, these organizations are filling a need that is being that really is important in our community. My daughter has had musical instruction at Settlement Music School, another benefactor of the Philadelphia Cultural Fund, and I've enjoyed some amazing performances by Intercultural Journeys and the Black Pearl Chamber Orchestra, as well as Quintessence Theater. That's some of the 272 arts and culture organizations. All these organizations enrich Philadelphians' economic, cultural, and spiritual lives, and I urge you to restore the Cultural Fund so it can continue and expand its work and its investment in our community in Philadelphia. So thank you.
Thank you so much.
How you doing? Good evening, everyone.
All right.
My name is Gary Mills. I'm the founder and president of Shoot Basketballs Not People. Currently, I had an issue with Department of Rec in the Northwest section. I attacked or went to every single Department of Recs and asked for outdoor permits, indoor and outdoor. Indoor, I was not successful for the past 6 months. Outdoor, they wouldn't issue permits for the outdoor basketball courts for some reason I'm not aware of. They wouldn't let me know. So it forced me to go to the Linfest Center to start our skills training program as well as Germantown Friends for our girls. But I'm trying to implement the basketball outdoor program for our children, and I need the proper space and time in order to do these things. Also, I proposed to the Department of Recreations to do a gentrification project with all of the basketball courts in the area. I currently attended a Coors Light event with Kenny Smith, and they are gentrifying, a church at Zion Baptist on Broad Street, but I thought it would be a phenomenal idea to, get with corporate partners such as Target, maybe Walmart, and some of the larger entities that's in this Northwest section, and possibly see if we can reach out to them to gentrify the playgrounds outside. So now if you have more vibrant playgrounds, then the children will be more, I guess, more anxious to come and play the sport of basketball that I know I'm in love with. I know a lot of children in the city of Philadelphia is in love with. And by us being a Big Five market, our basketball has declined. Public league, as well as, as far as the youth organizations are concerned as well. So I'm trying to, pick that culture back up to where as though we're right back on the map, and we can attract some of the Nikes and Adidas and Reebok and Under Armour, some of the larger brands that come in and maybe facilitate some money to help us, gentrify some of these playgrounds. So if there's anything that any city council members or President Clark, if there's any hands that you can extend to me, or if we can possibly sit down and do a potential partnership to revitalize some of these playgrounds, then that would, I think, minimize some of the violence that's going on inside of these playgrounds outside. So I just wanted to make you guys aware of that. I'm standing firm to what I believe in, and I really want to see our children, go forward. But, it breaks my heart when I'm in these classrooms and they're telling me I don't have anywhere to go, there's no space, there's teams practicing. So maybe if I can, like I said, facilitate a program outside of those indoor spaces that's already being utilized, maybe we can do something on the outside, brighten them up a little bit. And, with the whole campaign that I'm doing, it's on a national perspective now. So I'm getting attention from NBA players as well as some of the family out in Akron, Ohio. They've been real receptive. Our program has been phenomenal for our President's Day event out there. So, I would like to bring it home. I hate to say I was more successful in Ohio than I have been at home, but, I want to bring, those stats back to Philadelphia and, raise this market back up.
Okay, this is a number where you can be reached on the bottom. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Desmond Daniels. I'm here today as a concerned resident and as a concerned father in Mount Airy. I asked the committee today to consider and reconsider sections of Mount Airy. I know we have different entities, that are focused on business development and local corridors. And while that's important, we also have some communities that, particularly here in Mount Airy and in the Stenton and Johnson area, that while the beautification may be on its way, I think right outside of those beautification, we have some areas that are of large concern. In 1972, my grandmother moved onto Cliveden Street. She sent her kids, my mother and my uncle, to the local elementary school. She loved the area because it also had some local businesses that she could walk to, and a supermarket in this very location where we sit today. And I think a lot of those entities that are important, or aspects that are important to community building, are being lost in this particular area. My son, I inherited the house from my grandmother in Mount Airy, and we sent our son to the local elementary school, and we had to cut that short after a half of a school year, and to which my wife had to quit her job, and we homeschooled our child because of what was going on in the local elementary school. We also don't benefit from being able to walk from our home onto Stenton Avenue and enjoy the businesses that were 10 years ago. And certainly there was the start of a little produce store that closed frequently, but we can't travel locally. We can't walk to get fresh produce or things of the like. And so I just ask that you guys, the committee and the community at large, really look at, while we beautify Stenton Avenue, right outside of those areas, even down here on Mansfield, around the playground. There's some areas that are, it's not too late to sort of help turn the tide. You know, I think that, you know, to beautify an area, then to have it be destroyed is a waste of our tax dollars. And so if we could also focus on how are these communities changing. We want to beautify them, but at the same time, we have components of them that aren't changing for the positive. And so, again, AB Day is that local elementary school. I would like to see it be that local elementary school where families can send their kids to walk to school. And so while we beautify the area, again, I ask that we reconsider what's going on outside of these corridors to help strengthen our community. Thank you.
All right. Yeah, that's, thank you. It's actually a very good point, one that, you know, we've been talking about for some time. Recently there was a story about the excitement around the fact that the city of Philadelphia had actually gained population for the first time in decades, and that's a good thing. But once you dug down into the numbers, the reality is that the significant part of the population growth was new births. So it was a lot more kids being born in certain areas of the city. But when you dug down into the numbers, you actually saw that in the outlying neighborhoods, the neighborhoods that actually used to be the choice neighborhoods, the strong neighborhoods like the Mount Airy's and the West Oak Lanes and Winfields, those areas, you actually saw significant population loss. I talk to Councilman Jones all the time about that. In the last redistricting, we looked at the west side of the city of Philadelphia, all that population left. So we had to actually redistrict that we're now in places, represent areas in the city. I know Councilwoman Sanchez in particular, she had a significant shift because we had to make up the numbers. You have to have 150,000 in every district. So there has to be a strategy for these neighborhoods beyond Center City. I represent Center City, and it's a great thing. I love what's going on down there. But there are also neighborhoods out here that there needs to be a strategy, and there needs to be a plan, and there needs to be some clear thought about how we reinvest in our communities to have new housing starts, to have people in these neighborhoods be in a position to take advantage of the 10-year tax abatements, to have strong commercial partners, new business startups. So that's just something that we were going to be working on very aggressively over the next several months. And I agree with you 100%. Thank you so much for your testimony.
Give me a call, we'll set up an appointment with you. I want to talk to you.
Marika Meekins, Jeffrey Hackett, Damian Price.
I think we're in good job. We're in good job. Here's some rep.
Good evening. I come to you as a parent at Emotech Charter School and an educator for 15 years in Philadelphia Public Schools. I am an educator for the last 10 years at Harambe Charter School. I come to you because Emotech is up for renewal of their charter, and I am asking for the support not only of the community but of the council members. Emotech is a diamond in the rough. I have a daughter that's currently been there since 9th grade. She is now 11th grade on honor roll. When it was time for me to choose for a high school, she could have went anywhere in the city. She was accepted to all the top high schools of Philadelphia, but I chose Emotech for her. Nothing's perfect, but Emotech was perfect for her. Emotech is perfect for the 538 students that attend Emotech. The dedication, not only the CEO, the board members, the staff, the children. You can walk past Emotech any day between Monday, 7 days a week, and see children in Emotech. Not because they have to be, because they want to be. I have students that come from Harambe that I see have grown and flourished and now are going to colleges where people might have thought, he's not going to do anything, she's not going to do anything, but they have shown that they can be the best they can be. Like you said, we have students, they're not only good for sports, academically. Like the councilwoman said, we have the highest majority of African American males going to college, not to prison, not on the corners, being educated. so they can be good citizens of the city. So I just asking you today, not only the council people, but the community, to make sure when it comes time for that renewal for Imhotep Charter School, that you support that Diamond in the Rough. Because this is home to a lot of students, community members, and staff. So please, on that day when that renewal is up, remember that Diamond in the Rough on 21st Street, Imhotep Charter School.
Good afternoon, good evening on this rainy day. Thank you for coming out and listening to our testimonies. I'm going to echo some of the things that the sister to my left just said. I'm not only a parent of an Imhotep Charter, I'm not only a parent of an Imhotep Charter Institute student, but I'm also one of the basketball coaches over there of the girls basketball team, which we just won. And I'm very proud to say that because Imhotep has embraced not only myself but my daughter, who came from small town USA to Philadelphia to come live with me, and Imhotep embraced her as one of their own. Now she has been given opportunities that were given to her prior to coming to Imhotep. She's on the honor roll. She's at the honor roll dinner right now. She's a part of the Pretty Panthers, which won All City again. She won an award that I never thought would be possible, and that was she's on the mock trial team at Imhotep. And they went to Temple and they won, and she won the most outstanding debater award there. So I can't speak, but nothing but high praises when it comes to Imhotep. And I implore and I beg and I ask you, please come out and support Imhotep when that renewal was up. Some of you have already been on Imhotep, maybe to a sporting event, maybe to a job fair that they have in the community. There's a lot of community things that go on that I never realized till I moved right down the street, right there on Levere, 21st and Levere, and I noticed that Imhotep supports the community as well as the students that go to that school. So once again, I'm asking you to come out and to see what Imhotep offers not only the community, but the kids that they educate there, as well as the students, the teachers are phenomenal. The administrators are phenomenal. And the community surrounding Imhotep is phenomenal. And I want you all to come out there and just visit, take a minute of your time if you can, and see the beauty or the diamond in the rough, as she just said. Shine daily, Sunday through Saturday. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Chair recognizes Councilman Jones.
Thank you, Mr. President. And one of the beautiful things about a Imhotep or a Harambe is that kids come from all of our districts to go there, and the emphasis that's not only placed on sports, y'all win a lot of those championships, but also on the well-rounded nature of the student in academics. So I respect that. I just got off the phone today with the new CEO or manager of Harambe, Sandra Dungy Glenn. Yeah, Sandra, I don't know if it was really made public, but former SRC chair Sandra Dungy Glenn is now running Harambe. But I wanted to also emphasize that I judge a school, and I know a lot of our members are. Is that one for me too? Yeah. So, that's all right. So, the way, and I learned from my colleagues, I really did, you can tell a lot about a school by parent participation. All you have to do is stick around for the home and school to see what parents are really engaged in the product and the development of the product, which at the end of the day is the student. So in both of those schools, you have strong parent support systems that do more than just pick up report cards. They participate. So it's ironic, Mr. President, we're going to be dealing with the SRC next week, isn't that right? So we're going to remember to make that and put that on the record. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Hey, could I ask a quick question, please? We only hear, like, because we don't get to vote on charter renewals or charter revocations, so we kind of like only hear about it at the end when something happens, like over in my district and in Councilman Heenan's district. Dr. Palmer's school closed. I got a phone call. They said, just giving you a heads up, it's closing today. Like, wow, thanks. Is during the course of the year, is there, like, in the event that there's some performance issues or some possible issues that could possibly cause some revocation during the course of the year, is there like an outreach from the school district to make sure that it's not an abrupt end to the process at the end, or is this ongoing during the course of the year?
What happens is that every 5 years, the charter schools are up for renewal.
Okay.
Where they come in and they evaluate. During that evaluation, they look over everything from finances to talking to students, test scores, all of that sort. Once they come back with their findings, if it's something, they do give you a chance to come back and correct it or whatever the issue may be. And what happens is that sometimes, like you said, wait to the end. It's very important that you make your parents aware that there are issues, because as you look in the news right now, charter schools are under attack. I'm just being personal. I work at one and I understand. So what happens is parents have to be involved. And what happens is they don't tell you until almost the end that it's an issue. They don't let you know in September, like, okay, they're coming back in May. This is what the problem is. They wait. For example, we found out over spring break.
Right.
And I just wanted to add, with the process, in February of 2012, Imhotep was rated one of the top high schools, right along with Girls High and Central. They had a very extensive partnership that came out and evaluated everyone. Just recently they came out and they spent all of maybe an hour and they eliminated the parent piece, which is a big mistake. And they did not interview parents, they did not interview students. So when they take that report back, they're not really listening to the stakeholders who are making the choices to send their children to neighborhood schools and charter schools. So we're asking the council also, when you're about to evaluate, to make sure that people who are making decisions on these schools at least give the respect to come out and visit and spend the adequate time that's needed to give a fair evaluation. And in addition to that, we'll be glad, we love social media, so we do have information that's posted up on our website, and we try to share that, and we're looking forward to sharing that with more council people and people in the community.
Thank you. Thank you so much for your testimony. Oh, sorry.
I
Hold
was
on
just,
a second, please.
I was just going to say
Councilwoman
to
Casper.
the president and the members of council, when the school district comes before the council to testify for the funding of their budget, these are the issues we have to raise, because this is not the only, first time I've heard about Imhotep, but I've also heard it about a couple of other charter schools, and the process by how they make the evaluation and determination is questionable. And so if you can, when the school district comes before council, and I think it begins next week, I don't have the schedule, you all need to come down and testify, because I see some problems with the process on how they evaluate and restore the schools. I mean, you all are just absolutely wonderful. Although I'm on this side of the street, I know Mama Chris, we've worked with her. She kind of thinks I'm her council person too. So, and if you have success like that and you get the treatment and the lack of interest from the district bothers me, and I want you to come and testify.
We are signed up for May 7th.
Okay.
That's the correct date. So our students will be there, parents, and our educators. We're bringing a whole group down to the council hearings on the 7th.
Great.
So thank you again.
Thank you.
We have a school.
Okay, the next three speakers, Sonia Blunt, Cherie Gardner, Terry Pittman.
Good evening.
Evening.
My name is Sonia Blount, and I'm a recent Temple graduate. And I'm standing on behalf of Youth for Change, which is a youth development organization that has our programs in the North Philadelphia area. I am the founder and president, so I'm standing on behalf of the youth. I am here today to ask that you invest in not only recreational centers, but invest in out-of-school time programs. We have our programs at 16th and Burke Street at Amos Recreational Center, and I do appreciate you, Councilman Clark, for contributing to building a new playground. But there is a need for an investment, not only in our youth, but to the program providers. The program that I started in Temple University, which was about 2 years ago, is completely ran by volunteers. And as you know, with any business, you kind of get a little burnt out. So 2 years, been volunteering, and based off of the lack of resources, we have 60 students enrolled. We have weekly meetings with our parents. We take the young people on trips. We have programs. Our focus is art education, entrepreneurship, community service, and health and nutrition. And as of now, we're at the point where we need more resources and finances for the development of our youth programs. I also would like you to consider investing in our recreational centers, because we are in a recreational center where there's no computers, and if there are computers, there's no working internet, and it's not a place where young people want to go. So, one, invest in out-of-school programs, and two, invest in the recreational centers so we make it a safe environment and a great environment for where young people want to go. I hear a lot of people talk about, oh, the young people, they're not in these programs and they're not being involved and they're shooting and they're violent and these things, but these are not spaces where they want to come to. They're in school, and school is a different subject, but they may be in schools and in spaces where they don't want to be there, and then they come to a recreational center where it has no resources and the bathrooms don't work, and we don't have resources to provide to them. So just making it an opportunity for a space where they want to come. So I'm going to end with this. You can repeat after me, and everybody can get involved too. Okay.
Thank you.
I am wonderful. Okay, I'm going to say this, and everybody repeat after me, please. Thank you. I am wonderful. I am creative. I am somebody. So y'all can say it with feel it with your soul. Y'all don't have to be scared. I am wonderful. I am creative. I am somebody. I can make a change. We can make a change. Youth for change. And with that, I leave you with that, and please invest in out-of-school time programs. Thank you.
Thank you. Just one quick question. Are your programs solely out of 16th and Burks?
As of now, yes.
As of now. So if you apply for activities grant?
Not yet. I'm doing that today.
You want to do that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, I just want to make sure.
Somebody told me I missed the deadline.
Mr. Young is saying you did not miss the deadline.
I didn't miss it?
All right.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
All right. We'll make sure you get that in.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Good evening. My name is Shanae Garner. I am speaking tonight on behalf of Public Citizens for Children and Youth. I would like to thank Council President Clark and all of you for being here today, and especially Council President Clark for answering our many inquiries and spending time with us, but more importantly with the parent advocates that we bring to your office on a regular basis. I also want to acknowledge Councilman Jones and Councilwoman Quinona Sanchez, who we were able to award superhero awards to last year. And we are on the prowl for heroes again this year, so we'll keep you posted. I wanted to take a moment to talk a little bit about the school district budget. I know that next week, you will be spending some time hearing the customary asks. And while I know we all have fatigue and that you all did not create the issue that our district is facing, you all do have the power to help. And so before I worked at PCCY, I was a teacher at John Bartram High School. And as you all know, the pandemonium that has erupted at that school is by design. That is something that didn't happen with those young people 2 years ago. And after a 40% staff reduction there, the situation couldn't be worse. Bartram lost 2 of 3 assistant principals, 3 of 5 counselors, its sole librarian, in addition to its long-term principal. That is the kind of instability that sends our young people the wrong message, and it's the kind of disinvestment that puts us in a position where we are dealing with crime and punishment later on instead of productive citizens. We are working hard at PCCY at the state level to make sure that people in the surrounding suburbs are speaking to their legislators. Philadelphia was not the only district that was hurt. In Upper Darby, in William Penn School District, in Southeast Delco, in Norristown, those districts are seeing unprecedented cuts. We speak to council members there and school board members there on a daily basis, and they are in the same terrible position that you all are in. So once again, I'm here on behalf of students to ask that you extend the 1% sales tax. I know that that was permission for us to tax ourselves, and as unjust as it was, without getting to that $216 million mark, we will be unable to even sustain the level of services that we have now. Just a few days ago, we saw an inspirational documentary about Martin Luther King High School that was done in spite of disinvestment, not because of investment. So I'm asking that you all make the hard decision once again and to hold out hope that we will have a different type of leader in the near future, a funding formula, but until then, I'm going to ask that you extend the sales tax extension. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your testimony.
So, good afternoon. My name is Terry Pittman, and today I'm here to represent Hill Freeman Charter, no, I'm sorry, it's not a charter school, Hill Freeman Middle School, which sits about, I don't know, 400 yards from here. Just want to let the folks in the audience know that this is the #2 middle school in the state, but yet the school district does not currently have a decent plan in regards to how to actually make this high school work. So let me just kind of give you my prepared information, and then I would like to sit back and have some conversation. I know Councilperson Sidney Bass is well aware of this, and maybe some of you guys are as well. So basically, Hill Freeman World Academy is in search of a suitable building that would accommodate the expansion into a high school serving 6th through 12th grades by 2016. The school district approved Hill Freeman to become a high school in 2013 with no concrete plan for new space. Currently, the school district is recommending that we move the 9th and 10th graders who will be there next year into Kinsey School, which was built in 1915 or 1918, as a temporary solution to house the incoming students. Approximately $150,000 is allotted to perform cosmetic repairs, including upgrades to lighting, new paint, updated water fountains. The Hill Freeman community is not satisfied with this option for the following reasons. Kinsey is a mile away, and many families are not familiar with the area. The condition and age of the building is a concern. The building is not equipped to handle the special need population. Kinsey is supposed to be a short-term solution, but we all know once we get in there, if there's not a concrete plan, we're going to stay. Therefore, we have proposed a couple of different options, and I will say we have testified down at the SRC, the school district, and we have had some conversations. But today it's about asking you guys to support funding of the Hill Freeman for high school because it was approved. Again, President Clark, you had talked about how residents leave certain communities without plans. Well, we realize that one of the reasons a lot of citizens move out of the cities because they want to go to the suburbs. Well, if we have another high-performance school, such as Hill Freeman World Academy, which is an international baccalaureate, which will also be a special admit, but also they will bring in the students locally from here. So not only will the students from West Oak Lane Charter, A.B. Day, as well as some of the other students who cannot get into the Centrals and the Girls High and the Mastermans. This is a way for us to keep our students here and bring families back into this community. So I ask that you have some conversations with us about additional funding to support a public school, and I think it'll be a great investment, not only for the community, but for the state, but also for the students that do attend there. So I thank you, and I'm available, and I would like to send these notes to someone as well, since they are electronic.
Yeah, we'll make sure that they're incorporated in the testimony.
Who do I send that to?
You can send it to, what's the website for?
Oh, I'll give you the website afterwards. It's
Okay.
budget hearings at phila.gov.
Okay.
Budget hearings, HEARINGS, at phila.gov.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. President, I want.
I'm sorry. Councilwoman Bass had a question.
Yeah, I just wanted to thank you for bringing attention to Hill Freeman and the struggle that's been going on for the last 2-3 years now. This, as you mentioned, is a high-performing middle school. They do a great job, and we have been in contact with the district continuously, myself and also State Representative Steve Kinsey, who represents Hill Freeman, about their interest in moving it out of the neighborhood when there are other options that are very nearby. And so we're going to continue to press them on this, and we want to try to find a space that can accommodate Hill Freeman and is going to be of minimal disruption to the families, to the parents, to the students, and to the community. And we think we can work that out. So we're going to continue to keep pressing.
Okay, thank you. I would also say that we've proposed 3 different options. We've also proposed an opportunity based off of some conversations with State Rep Kinsey
Yes.
in regards to bringing some additional dollars into the school district. But it is a different type of plan. But again, we think that it's a viable one, and we think that when we're looking at the school district and the type of stress that they're under, we should be able to have this conversation and try to figure out a good way to make this happen versus just saying it can't happen. Because right now, the Kinsey Elementary School option is really just a horrible option.
I agree.
I don't care how you look at it.
I
It's
agree.
just horrible. So I thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you, Terry.
The next set of panels, speakers are Terry Iliyayo Oyago and Yago and Reverend Chester Williams.
Just 2?
Just 2.
That's it?
That's it.
That's it?
Yes, sir.
Good evening.
Good evening.
It's Terry Yago Ryan. And President Clark and council persons, thank you for giving me the opportunity to come and talk with you this evening. I'm the Executive Director of Big Picture Alliance. We're a media arts education organization and youth development organization. We've been around 20 years. I want to also give my thanks to Councilwoman Bass. We are based in the 8th District, but we serve all of your districts. We have collaborative partnerships with Taller Puertorriqueño and Nueva Esperanza in the summer, where we bring youth together from all sections of the city, all of your districts, to come together for an engaging 6 weeks to engage in filmmaking. I want to also apologize because I only heard about this probably about an hour ago and came straight from a staff meeting after having been at New Media Technology Charter this afternoon, where we were holding a big pitch session. The youth there have come through our after-school program, and they're getting ready to work on their group projects, and I bring professionals in from the industry, and they build 21st century presentation skills just like I'm doing right now, where they're pitching their projects to us. So I apologize. I want to work from some notes that I put together quickly. We began our work as a youth violence prevention program, and we've grown to address not just that, but the achievement gap and the dropout rate. Our concentration are the youth in all of your council districts. Your youth are our students to serve to engage. We educate youth through the collaborative process of filmmaking. Oftentimes when we culminate our programs and I stand up and talk to the parents and say, how many of you would have preferred to have made a film instead of write a book report when you were in school? And all of the hands go up. It's a powerful experience. It's something that's sometimes hard to wrap your head around unless you're with us in the rooms, in the spaces, at a Germantown open screening that was part of the community-wide Film Friday films and things like that, where we were screening some student work there. But it's powerful. None of this would be possible for our arts organization without the support of the Philadelphia Cultural Fund that provides organizations, small organizations like ours. We're not big. We're lean and mean, but we're mighty in terms of the gains that these youth make. And it wouldn't be possible. And so what I'm talking about tonight, which you've already heard about, is a request to really think carefully and considerably about the full restoration of that 3.2 and what it means, because what it means is restoring the youth arts after-school program grants where the school districts are falling short. We know that they're challenged and we know they're doing their best, but we also know that there are impediments there and it's going to take some time for that change. We're making the change. We're on the ground making the change. We've recalibrated our curriculum and connected it to Common Core for English Language Arts, and last year I can proudly report to you that youth were eligible for accruing credit toward daytime English because of the out-of-school program, the after-school program that we provided at Parkway Northwest Peace and Social Justice High School, at Lincoln High School. We've been at Dobbins for years and years. This 21st century skill of communication and media and technology, we all know it's right here and it's present in our lives, and it's critical that youth have these skills moving ahead in their lives. And what we hear from them is how powerful that experience is for them. Yes, it keeps them off the streets. Yes, they're engaged. The attendance rates are huge at the end of the program, just as they are at the beginning, where many other programs may fall short and see that dive and that dip. Those students come and ask to come to our programs on professional development days when the schools are closing early. So we know something's happening there. The increase will support our programs. They will support the other programs. I know Representative Parker has been at one of our community-wide screenings at PCAT a few years ago so she could see it. She could understand it. And she heard the parents saying, when are you coming back? That's the critical piece for small nonprofit arts organizations like ours around the city. And you know it. I know that you know it, and we appreciate the support that you give to us. We're relying on foundation support, that mix between foundation, individual giving, but it's really important. If the Cultural Fund can have that youth arts piece back in the budget, then we're going to be there. Regardless of what other budget cuts exist, we're going to be able to be there and make a difference in the lives of youth across all of your council districts. What I want to also share is as important, and that's really around the impact that we have with youth in these districts. We're in conversations to also come into the rec centers in a much more powerful way than we have in the past. That's more a vision of mine, but I think it's shared with other members who I've met and am continuing to meet at the city level, because that's a vision. It's another way to engage our youth. They'll come and play basketball, but I'd love to see them also be able to come upstairs and edit and work on films if they'd like to do that. So this is beyond our schools, our charter schools that we serve, community arts organizations we serve, behavioral health organizations like the Bridge Therapeutic Center at Fox Chase, drug and alcohol rehabilitation centers, Salvation Army in West Philadelphia. We're everywhere, K through 12, also that older out-of-school youth through age 25 that need to complete their GEDs, and they also need to build these kind of vocational opportunities for youth. What I can also share with you and congratulate you with is that many youth from all of your districts are probably the first in the United States to have worked on a feature film. And I will be sending you invites like I always do for all our screenings when we screen this feature film. It's just been released this year. But these are important moments and important opportunities to not overlook. And so I thank you for considering the full restoration for the Philadelphia Cultural Fund for the $3.2 million. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your testimony. Pastor?
Good evening, everyone. I'm Reverend Chester Williams, President and founder of the Chew and Belfield Neighborhood Club since 1981. We are an organization that believes in the community in a unique way. We don't just speak about it, but we're doers. If you know anything about us, we are ones that clean Chew Avenue, Washington Lane, the whole 59th Ward 10th Division, and we're free. We are based and built upon volunteer programs. I like to say also, we're the ones that cleaned up the waterworks. When they first started, we the volunteers that came down and cleaned up before they planted the flowers. We go wherever we need it to help people show that cleanliness is the next thing to godliness. But we found out the proof that if you clean where you're at, it stops crime. It cuts it down. We give tips and tell people how to brighten up their area where they live at. We want to say thank you for Councilwoman Sidney Bass. She knows she's all that. Because we really thank God that she's with us. But I'm saying this to the whole body. The Chew and Belfield needs more funds. I mean, we need it in more of the ways you can think. Now, on top of that, we have been truly blessed by God to get Green Tree School brought into our community after much prayer and struggling with them to be a face, and they actually opened. Also, we prayed and worked with Wissahickon Charter, which has broke the grounds and building a brand new school there. We also worked with Bottom Dollar Food Store at Washington Lane and Chew, and God has blessed that to come in reality. Out of all that God has blessed us to do has brightened up our community and make people realize that we do exist in that community. But we need something from the city that many people here are not speaking about. We have a lot of senior citizens in our neighborhood. We've been asking for them, well, I guess you call them pot-belly trash cans. We have the XH, we have the XH, the 18, and the train station stops right in our area. We need benches on those corners for our elderly to sit, and we need the pot-belly trash can to help keep our community clean. Why do I ask for something basics? Because this is something you already say you got. Wherever it's going, come off of Germantown Avenue for a while. Come into the grassroots neighborhood where we out there, we have movie nights, we have block festivals, we plan another one this year, and most of you know that we are doers. But we can't do it by ourselves. In all these years, we have never asked the city for anything. We did it all by ourselves with $12 dues and the faithful volunteers. We have a free math tutoring class at the Coleman Library from 10 a.m. to 12 noon, from ages from 7 years old to 99 are welcome. And we have every age. People come from Montgomery County, drive all the way there to come to our math tutoring class. Our children have got the highest SAT score by coming to our math tutoring class. We have a volunteer program that works during the summer, usually twice a week or once a week, every Wednesday. And we clean up anything you holler for. Churches that need lots cleaned up, where the churches are, we do that. And we train our volunteers how to operate this equipment in a safe manner, how to dress for it, and also how to be able to be proud of what they're learning, that they can take it back to their neighborhood and help clean the neighborhood, not just in our area, but in their area as well. So I say this right quick. It is good to hear the charter schools got a part to have parents must participate. I wish that law was in the school board for the public schools. That's what's making parents not having a voice. They're not demanding that they have to have a part of their children's education in the school board. When I checked on that, they say, Reverend Williams, that's not a part of the rules. I said, well, why isn't it? If the charter schools can have it in theirs, why can't we make the parents in public schools say, you must participate in your children's activity by being to the meeting, come to the school. These children that's doing the research, these children know their parents' schedules better than they do. And that's how they act up. I raised 2 boys by the grace of God and myself, and 3 nieces when my sister passed. All of them graduated from public schools. All went to college. All got degrees and got full scholarships. Only by the grace of God. So I'm saying to you, help these parents in the public schools so they can have a rule that says you must participate in your children's growth, and then they'll feel proud like they got a part to do in the school board. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your testimony. Thank you.
Nice to see you again.
I'm sorry, Chair recognizes Councilwoman Bass. I think she had a
Thank you.
statement.
Thank you. I just wanted to follow up on Reverend Chester Williams in terms of some of the things you'd like to see on the avenue, the benches and all the big belly trash cans, and be happy to sit down and talk to you and figure out how we can get some of those things out there. But I also wanted to recognize you because a lot of people don't know, and you don't talk about, you know, that you have been instrumental up and down Chew Avenue in terms of the cleanups. On any given Saturday, if folks are out there and they drive by, they'll see you and a team of volunteers cleaning up, picking up, mowing, just doing it. And so I wanted to thank you. And beyond that, there was a situation which you don't talk about where, you know, there was a very disturbing situation where a parent attacked a baby, a small child. And I won't go into the details, but it was very, very disturbing. And you snatched the baby up and drove to Einstein and saved the baby's life. And so I just wanted to, and so I just want, you know, whenever I get a chance to say thank you for all that you do, I want to say that. So thank you for everything that you do. And you do a lot. And you spend your own money. and I know this, and so we're going to be helpful to you. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman. Thank you so much for your testimony and your good work. Ms. Lewis, you have any other names on the witness list?
Council President, there are no more witnesses on the list.
There being none, I would like to thank you all very much for your testimony and your willingness to participate in your government. We really appreciate you coming out tonight in this inclement weather, and please be safe going home. Councilwoman, did you have anything you want to say?
I just want to thank everyone for coming out in this weather. It means that you are really committed to your community and to the institutions you represent, and we appreciate it, and that we were not talking to the bleachers. And we enjoyed the testimony because we learned a lot of information that we may not have as we deliberate the budget. And certainly we were looking forward to hear those who came to discuss the school board issues, the school district issues, to come, and we will be there when you have your testimony next week. Thank you all so much, and I want to thank everybody for coming. Thank you.
Chair recognizes Councilwoman Bass, the other co-sponsor.
I just want to say what Councilwoman Tasker said, ditto. Thank you, everybody, for coming. Thank you.
All right, this concludes the neighborhood budget hearing for this evening. Committee will stand in recess until Monday, May 5th, 2014 at 10 a.m. in room 400. Thank you all so much.